And welcome back to the show, everybody. The old Gatbox podcast and radio show. You know, wherever I go, whether it's the PGA Tour or I've been down to South Florida a lot, playing a lot of golf, people go, "Aren't you the Casa de Campo guy?" And I said, "Yes, I am." The word is getting out. People have been going down. They're coming back. They're having a great time. And we talk about the four wonderful courses designed by the late, great Pete Dye. Teeth of the Dog is special. There's no question about it. But I like all the other courses too. Dye 4, the Links, La Romana Country Club. But the people at Casa de Campo is what I really like. Just really nice, special people that roll out the red carpet. They're glad to do it. And I have friends now, lifelong friends, which is really, really cool. So go to casadecampo.com and check out the latest for an incredible family vacay. Hey, one of those great friends is with us again. In fact, we've been trying to get Gilles Gagnon back on the show by popular demand. And Gilles, you're a busy man. It's hard to get you on the show these days. How you doing?
Well, we're doing very well. As always, we're extremely busy. And,
I know.
And this week we have a great event, the Sugar Tournament, which was started by the owner, and we have 122 teams. So we're playing Teeth and Die 4 this year, and we have ladies also. The ladies, we have a division for ladies that we have about 40 ladies that are playing. They're going to play La Romana and Links, and it's a fun. Every night there's some beautiful parties and.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty special event. People, I tell you what, we could get 200 teams if we wanted to. But we say 100 every year, and the next thing you know, we're at 122, 125. So it's a great event. Plus, we have Ray Allen next week that's coming. He's going to have his tournament. He's got about 36 players, and, that's starting. So the tournament ends on Saturday, and then Sunday, Ray arrived, and we have a tournament. Then we had the Florida Golf Association also that's here this week. So it's a busy place.
Yeah, good for you guys. And I understand why. And I understand you're kind of the impetus behind it because you're the organizer. And I know how busy you are when people call you up because you take care of them. Hey, I wanted to mention also Maroon 5 is a band that's been around forever. And they're coming to Alto de Chavon May 1st. I think that'd be kind of fun, especially with the amphitheater there at Alto de Chavon. That's a pretty cool place to see a concert.
Yeah, like I think I've said that before. It was opened by Frank Sinatra in 1982. Yeah. But yeah, every concert we've ever had is, it's really special, obviously. We've had quite a few more Latin artists lately. But the Maroon, it's going to be unbelievable. I know my wife says, we got to be here. And I said, well, we might not be here. We have to go to the grandson's graduation. But
okay.
It's so beautiful around the amphitheater there, and in open air, obviously, and you sit like a Greek Colosseum. You're sitting you got to bring your cushions, but the acoustic and I think we're already sold out, to be honest with you. I mean, they put them up, they just put them up for sale, and bingo, it was gone. So it's going to be a great event for sure.
Yeah, that's coming up May 1st, Maroon 5. All right, this week, Gilles, the PGA Tour goes from Augusta National to the RBC Heritage. Signature event, by the way. Everybody's playing but Rory. He's taking the week off, understandably so. That's one of Pete's best, Harbor Town there in Hilton Head, South Carolina. In fact, some people will say that might be the best that he ever designed. Jack Nicklaus was a consultant. This is many, many years ago. I know you've played Harbor Town, and I know Pete's talked about it. He obviously was very proud of that property and what he did, because it is a magnificent layout as it winds through that area of South Carolina, the lowlands.
Well, I've played it, and it's tight, obviously.
Yes, it is.
I think it kind of brings out a little more of the creativity of the player, versus just bombing him and just chasing it.
Right.
Dog legs, and probably even what's to me what's incredible is that the 18th hole. I remember I played there, and obviously I don't hit it like these guys, but you try to be smart. You go back to see, and your driver, and then you got 3-wood, and these guys are bombing it almost right into the marsh. But it is a beautiful golf course. The par 317. The way the angles are there, and you got to hit the right shot at the right shape, and it's always a good tournament. And it's great, that it's a special event, obviously, but right after the Master, which is these guys are kind of get worn out a little bit, and then they go out there, but they don't want to miss it because I think it's one of their favorite place to go.
It's beautiful. That 18th hole, by the way, the lighthouse is about 200 yards behind the 18th green. Calabogie Sound is out to the left. and it is the widest fairway on the PGA Tour. It's impossible to miss the fairway, but the wind is always howling, and it is really an exciting finishing hole. And if you go around the railroad ties the whole bit, it has Pete's signature all over it, and I absolutely love it. Tell me this, though, because you mentioned the schedule. And the players, Justin Thomas, for example, held his press conference yesterday. He said, hey, we go from the Masters to a signature event, smaller field, big money event here at RBC Heritage. Then there's the team event, but then you go to the Cadillac Championship at Trump Doral, the Blue Monster, that returns to Miami. And then you have the PGA Championship. So as Justin said, there's no rest for the weary, and he feels that's almost too much for these guys, not from a physical standpoint so much as a mental standpoint, trying to get up for these big events. What do you think, Gilles? Is that a legitimate argument for these great players, because they're given a lot of opportunities now in a short period of time, a very compressed period of time?
I think, personally, I think it's too close. You know what I mean? I think that's one after the other, and then they go, well, I need to go there because maybe this is the part of sponsorship, or maybe the friends that they have there, and then, it's... And then, you travel all that time. You're away from your family. I mean, even if you bring your family, you got to go practice. And you can't just say, well, I'll go to Disneyland for a while and come back, So, yeah, I just think that, I'm not so sure if the way the schedule, is. I know they wanted to have, like, the 4 majors. But by the time we're July, it's over, right? I mean, everything's gone. I mean, the tournament says, boom, the U.S. Open, and then PGA, and I think it's a reasonable gripe that I think we're demanding a lot from these guys. I know they're making a lot of money, but we're not, golf is not like 14 games type of thing. And then they travel, and it's not them. With a team that people take care of. I know they got agents and stuff, but I think it's people don't realize how tough of a life that is. That is, it's especially when you're not playing good. If you're Rory right now, it's pretty good. But if you're the bottom of the pile there, and I think that's very demanding.
Well, as you know, physically they play golf every day. They hit balls, thousands of balls every day. But it's the mental strain, I believe, when you're trying to win a major championship, because there's pressure that people just don't realize when you're playing these big events. And it does take its toll, there's no doubt. Hey, I wanted to ask you this, taking us back to the Masters, because Rory obviously wins back-to-back. A lot has been made since he wins on Sunday, and mostly from these talk show hosts who aren't golfers. They get these hot takes, and they felt, as they learned, that Rory, he took 2 weeks off after the Players, did not play in Texas, and he just took a private jet up to Augusta National multiple times for 2 weeks. He played, would come home, play, would come home. And many feel that was an advantage that he has that no one else has, when in reality anybody could do that. It's just he has freedom over 2 weeks. Gilles, is that, and listen, Jack Nicklaus used to do that back in the day. So this is not out of bounds in any way, do you think?
No, just go beat the guy. Give me a break. Especially, the amount of pressure that this guy has. Yeah, sure. If you play a golf course 50 times versus somebody that played, 2 or 3 times, you might know a little more. I know when you come at Casa and I play, I kind of know where everything bounces are. But still, you got to hit the shots. And if he knew so much about the golf course, practiced so much, I don't think he would have hit the ball dead right on 18. I'm watching this thing and I'm nervous. I can imagine, the caddy, his caddy and stuff. But yeah, it could be a little advantage. But hey, listen, you still got to go out there, put the ball in the hole. And the amount of pressure he had when everybody's saying, like the 6 guys were leading by 5 shots after 2 rounds, only 1 guy lost. And now he goes from like 6-shot lead to 2 shots, behind. Yeah. So, no, I think, everybody's trying to find something. We built these people, the athletes. You build them, and then what do you want to do? You want to take them down. You look at that so many times, pick on somebody. They start picking about his private life there for a minute or 2. And, just give the guy a break. Just enjoy the talent that he has and some of the shot. And Scheffler was really good. And, and Rose was another wonderful story. I don't want anybody to lose ever when you sit around, but I think Rose deserved to win another major. This guy's played well. I think according to what I've heard, he's a great guy. I know he did a lot of charity in the Bahamas, and him and his wife. So the way he handled losing last year, the Masters really got it figured out. I mean, we talked about that, right? It's exciting. I mean, you sit on the edge of your seat.
Yes,
you never know what's going to happen. And the guy hits a drive and an 8-iron, the other guy hits a 3-wood or whatever, and they both they go over the green, and then, oh my God, now they're worried about hitting it in the creek in front. So they really had it figured out. But Rory, I'm so happy for him, and he deserves it. And sure, he's got a private jet. I got a bunch of my friends that have private jets too, and it doesn't make them any happier. You're lucky to have it, but it's a little different.
I tell you, if I had a private jet, I'd be at Casa de Campo a lot more than I am. I'll tell you that right now. Hey, it was interesting. The Masters, the ratings, by the way, Gilles, are always they're off the charts. It's the highest rated golf tournament every year, and it has been for 70 years since CBS has had it. The average rating was over 14, which was the best they've had in 10 years. So the average, more than 14 million people were watching. The peak on Sunday was 21 million, and this doesn't even include all the digital, iPhone, iPad, people at sports bars. It is truly amazing, Gilles, how many people dial into the Masters. Nothing against all the other major championships. I love them. But wow, the Masters is the cat's meow.
Listen, yeah, and I love golf. Golf to me is basically my life now, other than my family and stuff. And I'm going to tell you, the Masters, I watch every one of them. But the Masters, you literally, you want to sit there because something's going to happen. Where sometimes the other major, like the U.S. Open, in the rough, bogey, whatever it is, this thing can turn around in 1 or 2 holes. It totally flips over. And, Tom Wyman was the chairman of CBS, and he had a home here. And I played golf with him, a bunch of times. And he used to say that the Masters was basically the least expensive event to run, because they just come in with the cameras, they put them on, the towers are there, all the cable is underground, everything is done. So they just show up and, put the cameras on, and, basically it's a go. So he said that was their favorite event, because of that also for them. But yeah, the Master, they got it figured out. I mean, they definitely know what they're doing.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Tell me this now, Rory, 6 major championships, back-to-back Masters. Sir Nick Faldo has 6, never won the U.S. Open or the PGA Championship. Seve with 5. I mean, are you in the camp that Rory is the greatest European golfer of all time?
I think so. And I tell you, the other thing is I think he's going to win a few more.
Yeah, I agree.
I really feel he's going to. If he could take that pressure that he's had last year and this year, hopefully, I think after last year, there was so much, the monkey off his back, like they say, or whatever. Now, all of a sudden, he kind of relaxed a little bit. But I think now he can feel it even more. I think he's got 6 now. He wants to go, and I think he's going to win a bunch more because he's not very old, right? Was he 36?
36.
Yeah. I mean, he's in his prime right now.
Yeah.
So, and he still hits it a long way. I think he's putting better. He putted very well during the Master. He made some really, really good, important putts.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So, I think so. I mean, Faldo is great. I mean, all these guys are good, but saying who's the best, I'd say at this time right now, Rory definitely has got the edge on everybody.
And I was laughing. I was watching the Masters, and many of the interviews, they were talking about how tight the lies are off the greens. Super tight. And these are the best players in the world having a tough time with wedges, getting it close. And I got to thinking, I said, when I was at Casa de Campo, those lies were so tight. It's the same deal, Gilles, right? I mean, I'm just like the good players. Those tight lies are tough to maneuver.
Yeah, you chunk him a couple of them, and you chili dip a few, and then you blade 1 or 2, and then you kind of pinch one properly, and it takes a couple skip and stops. And I'll tell you, that shot, the touch also is amazing. I mean, I was on 16. He's over the green there.
Yes.
That's probably the putt of the tournament, the shot. I mean, he hit that thing right around. And but, yeah, he's exciting. But it's like you sit there and you go, what the heck are you thinking? Why? You could have hit 6-iron wedge. But,
yes.
I mean, their brain is not – it's not programmed that way. They just take it and just go at it. I mean, these kids now my grandkids play now. It's like, why do you hit it there? He doesn't care. He just takes the driver and just fire.
Yeah.
And you don't want to take that no fear out of their system. But Rory does make it exciting. It's a little bit like Greg Norman. Greg Norman, you look at it and all of a sudden, you would hit some of the worst shot or lost, or he's really an exciting golfer. I think people, he talks and he tells you how he feels, and he said when he gets on the first tee, he was really nervous.
Yes.
How many guys are going to stand up there and say, "Oh, I was there, I'm very cool"? No, he just said, "I was really nervous." And we all feel. I mean, we could play for the little member guests at home, and you got a 4-footer to win or something, and you're nervous. So you can imagine. I mean, it's. Pete Dye told me one time, I was with Pete and Alice at the TPC, and we're on the 17th hole, and Pete stands there and he whipped a couple shot on the green, and he said, "Well, I don't understand what's the big difficulty of this green." And his wife says, "Well, there's me, Jill, and a couple frogs that now is watching you play. When they're watching, there's 20 million people watching, plus all the money. It's a little different."
Yeah, that's funny. That's very, very funny. Hey, before I let you go, obviously this Masters was the first one since 1994 where we didn't have Tiger and or Phil. Obviously, Tiger's going through his thing. Phil's going through a family thing as well. Gilles, talk about the future of these two all-time greats. I mean, what they've accomplished on the golf course has been spectacular. Some of the greatest moments in professional golf history. I kind of feel like I want to see him come back to the Masters, and I honestly don't. I really don't care if they ever play again, Gilles. I mean, I think they've kind of reached that level. What do you think? I mean, is a comeback for Tiger or even Phil, is that even a big deal after what these guys have accomplished? I just want them to solve whatever's going through in their lives, and it's obviously very serious. I just want to see them come back and relish in what they've accomplished. I don't care if they ever play again or not.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to see, Phil or Tiger play. But again, I don't know exactly what Phil's going through, but it must be something serious.
It's a family thing, yeah.
But, you look at this Tiger, all the stuff that's going on, and, it's hard to understand that, why didn't he have a driver or something? I'm never going to understand. All the money that, have, why wouldn't you have a driver? Or and the other thing is that I'm not very good at judging, because people can judge a lot of stuff about me too. But he must have been in a lot of pain all the time. This guy, has had so many surgery. You're in pain. You start taking something, and the next thing you hook on it, and it's really, really difficult. Obviously, I mean, I've had some friends that their kids have been hooked on different stuff, and it's a big challenge. But you definitely need help, and when I saw that, I really was, you're a little hangry, but you're also sad and say, what the hell, what are these kids now? And, and I really hope that he recovers and comes back. And like you said, fun to see him play, but if he doesn't play again, we can look at some of the video or something, how great he was.
Yeah.
So,
no question.
Nicholas never went through stuff like that. He never was always kind of. I guess there was not as many all the the cameras and all the everybody on you, the reporters and things. But man, it's been a mess. It's been a big mess. I just hope that he, live the rest of his life happier, doing some stuff, maybe building more golf course or doing his charity, and he's done so many great things. But this to me was really heartbreaking, I think.
Yeah, well said, well said. And I will say over the last 25 years that I've been out there doing play-by-play inside the ropes, calling some of the greatest shots I've ever seen in my life with Tiger and Phil and some of their wins. And that win Phil had at Kiowa 3 or 4 years ago when he was 50 years old was just another Pete Dye course, right? So pretty phenomenal. All right, Gilles, man, it's so good to see you. I know you're busy with the Sugar, and Ray Allen, the former NBA great, has his deal next week. So you got a lot going on, my man. When you getting back down to South Florida? Any time soon?
Yeah, probably. Well, now Maroon, I'd kind of forgotten about that concert, so Marylee's probably going to want to be here.
Maroon 5.
Yeah, Maroon 5. But definitely I'm going to be back, early May, because like I said, we have the grandson graduating in Mullen, Nebraska. So it's a little way out, and I think Marylee and I decided we might drive and kind of hit a few stops on the way and
good for you.
Do a couple things. But we'll be back soon, and you're mostly you're traveling quite a bit, obviously, with all your the radio, and but you're doing a great job always, and hope when I'm there, if we're there, we'll get together.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, we'll be in touch. And I'll let you know, because my crew, like, when we going back to Casa de Campo? I'm like, well, let me work with Gilles, so we'll work on it. So We'll get
Well,
back
we'll
down.
have, you're always welcome here. You always have at least one bed. You have a room, but and golf, and anytime you want to come back. I love the shirt you're wearing right now, that Teeth of the Dog. There's a good looking shirt, and we appreciate all the stuff you do for us. And I'm glad that they see you now as, hey, the guy from Casa de Campo.
Yeah. And I love it. I love it. Gilles, we'll see you. All the best, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for having me again. Bye-bye.